Okay, so hello, thanks for being here. It's another test session for Justice for Heroes, Justice for Hire app test session where we test the full app, which is not yet public, but it will be as soon as we clear all the issues. From all these sessions are recorded, will go on our YouTube channel, and if we're saving all the information, but if there's a piece of content that you're very fond of and information that you want to save, please do just in the if it happens that it's not saved. So from last week, thank you, Guru, for joining. We had an issue last week and we could not reproduce it. I would like to go through that exact scenario once again with you and Jen, and DM each other. But please take into account that one, the test is done on justforheroes.app, and until we will deploy the upgrade of the version functionality, which will come very soon, please clear your cache and close all the browser windows, and then practically access the latest version of the app, which is on justforheroes.app. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. But for now, that's the procedure of upgrading the version. So I'll give you a couple of minutes for this test, and then let's see how if it's reproducing or not. We were not able to reproduce it, me and Jen, so thank you once again, Guru, that you're here.
And to clarify, do you want me to use my Guru account or do you want me to use the test villain account that I made?
In the check if it should be available, the new test account. You can use that too. Yes, use that.
Unless you can give me the login.
Or you know what? Just make a new account, both you and Jen. Just make a new account. Let's reproduce the whole scenario because that was the whole scenario. Create a new account, the Guru. Tell us which one it is. Jen will do the same, and then we will see if you can DM each other with the right format and display of the messages between the two of you.
Did I make it Guru or
give me a little insight into my character creation process, which essentially is me with a Batman voice at any given time. It goes like this. The dark days and the dark nights come. They pass like waves in the sunset. Listening, making me think. Could it get any darker? And I forgot to record that. I pressed record. I must have recorded something else. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I still can't get volume on this, on the first one, for whatever reason. I can always get it on the second one. Hey, Guru, I'm super interested. when you play back your video, when you create a new profile, not in this screen, but the previous screen where you've recorded it and you can check it, can you hear your audio?
I was just about to test that right now.
Thank you. Because in this one, I'm sure I'll be able to hear it. But the previous screen,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can hear it.
My phone, but
I pressed record. I must record something else.
and it'll only live on Zoom. That wonderful Batman monologue. Monologue man.
Yeah, some issues with his computer here in Johnson.
Question: when time comes to like officially launch the app, will we be getting rid of the test accounts and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so technically the app is live, it's launched, but you know, it's only sections of the app. So when it's fully operational, absolutely any test account would be gone. And before that operational day hits, we're going to do a big sync of all of the additional hero content that has not been updated on the app since July of last year. So we have a ridiculous amount of content that's not on the app, and like about 14 hours worth of content. Like actually, yeah. So it's like more than 14 hours of the content that'll be on the app, which will be fun.
Wow.
It'll be multiple days of work. All right.
Like at this moment, we can split between us and we can create accounts, you know?
Hmm?
At this moment, we can split between the three of us and create accounts using the app
What do you mean?
instead of just me creating accounts. We can each create 3 accounts for those users. Just
For syncing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
There
yeah.
will be 3 of us, so it will take 3 accounts last week.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. It's Klaus. Klaus.
Hi, Sensei Class. Thanks for being here. We're testing the direct messaging from new accounts. Right. Yes, please let me know if you create a new account and you try to message either Guru or Jan or myself, if the display of the messages is correct in terms of the format of incoming and outgoing messages.
Guru, also once you're in, to replicate the issue last time, I think you just sent me a message. So I'm not sure if you sent anything with the message, like if you shared anything, but I am Monologue Man, and you know what
I just sent Monologue Man a DM in and out of character.
Oh, thank you.
From Clasp is his name.
I'll check right now. I don't see any red dot at the top of my screen for a new message.
Oh, okay.
If you just sent it, I'll
There we go.
And you were saying before that the red dot will only pop up once you access it first.
Yes.
But I think that's.
I'm noticing that the red dot only popped up once I entered the cast chat. And then once I did that, then I started seeing the red dot. Let me go to a different page. Yeah, you can't see the red dot. Yeah, there we go. Boop.
No messages.
Yeah, but now I have a message, and I haven't been. I'm essentially not being told to go in there.
Does it appear now without doing anything?
No, it doesn't. I'll check again in a second, but Guru sent it over, over a minute ago.
Let's see. It checks every 5 seconds if there's new messages. So if it appears now.
Guru Merkaba. On test mission. Running in place. Making it look like I'm running in real life.
That's amazing. All right, let's see.
Thanks.
Yeah, so even when I load other pages, it hasn't popped up yet. There's no
Okay.
red dot, so it's definitely not a loading issue. Let me check now. I'm sure his stuff will be there. So I got the, hey, this is your first time. Monologue man has entered the JFH cast chat. All right. Clasp. All right.
Clasp a friend.
Oh, and
Okay, now it's working. It's the clasp is on both sides. I mean, it's on the proper side. His message to me.
okay, so
There we go. So that is working properly.
okay. But now we just okay. Let me. So now you don't have any red dots, no? Let me go in the app and try something.
So I mean now I've looked at both my messages, so I shouldn't have any
Okay.
red dots anywhere.
So if you don't have a red dot now.
Oh, you're gonna send
Hey
me.
Jen, I happen to be looking at the message when you sent it. Can you send me one more, please, just so I can see if a red dot pops up for me?
Sure. Sent.
I'm sending you one.
All right, almost immediately a dot popped up.
Awesome.
So that means that okay. So you don't have a red dot now?
I don't have anything from
Okay.
new.
Get away from go to another screen than the chat. To
Yeah.
be in a different screen on the watch page or something.
Yeah, but you haven't sent me anything.
No,
so, okay.
I'm trying to so.
Okay, so
you
I'm
don't
not
have
on chat.
anything.
Yeah.
I'm sending now to see if it updates or not.
Yep. Now I got it.
Now you got it.
Yes. But has the red dot changed size? Was it on the left side? I don't know.
At this moment, it's like,
Seems like it's on the right side though. All right. Hi there.
okay.
Thanks for the Daft Punk reference.
No, of course. Forget about it.
Okay, I don't have any now. Can you send me one?
I just did.
It popped?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that?
Hello, man.
I'm trying to identify if it was in the interval, or if you don't ever access the chat and you get a message, it only appears. It shouldn't appear just when you access it. Just when you access it, it happens if you don't have any. If you don't have any messages in your inbox, the dot won't appear until you access it the first time. But if it happens that you received, it should be there. So I will.
Yeah, we should talk about that after the.
Okay. Okay, so I think you can hear me through Jen's.
I can mute.
Speaker.
Let me mute so you can talk.
Muted.
Okay, cool. So we will see how we can reproduce the dot. We saw that we cannot reproduce the format and the display of the incoming and outgoing messages, which mean that they appear on the proper sides of the window. Now, Guru, because you reported this last week, and it's also useful for the content team. Can you try to complete a challenge and see if the checkboxes are operational? And Sensei Klaus,
Absolutely.
the same.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know the content team wants to work on the challenges, and the content team is the privileged team that has access to the full app until we go public with it. So please let's test the challenge direction page.
Okay. Also, just to note, I did receive emails for my DMs from JFH. It says check your DMs.
Yeah.
Someone has
Oh,
messaged
I
you.
received that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So as we saw last week, when someone DMs you, you receive also a message. So he received the email with, hey, you have this, just in case he's not in the app, but he was in the app when he received that. But he also has the history of the messages.
Oh, you're saying that.
So he just said that he received also by email a notification saying, hey, you have a DM, check your DMs.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that if someone is in the app, using the app, then potentially we should not send that notification to them because that would be annoying.
I don't know. Is it annoying, girl?
I didn't receive it until like after I left the app, so I didn't even notice. It wasn't like something popping up in the background, but like if I was just kind of like, you know, going about my business, I mean, it's fine. I probably would end up double checking just to make sure.
If I was in the app and I'm sending out a bunch of rapid fire DMs and I'm getting, I think you're still, and I'm getting like tons of emails back while I'm in the process of being on the app, I'd be so pissed off. I'd be like, who do people think they are? I'd be like ridiculously upset. So that's a great catch. Never even thought about that. That's great for us to deeply think about.
To think further about.
It's like
because it is implemented. Because it is implemented as we said, when check your DMs, we didn't think it through. So.
No, this is great. But the whole point of these sessions is to have the moments where we have to think deeper about a thing, which is the only way to attain mastery in anything. So we're great. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll make a note about the frequency and the conditions in which the users get email notifications when they receive a DM. Only if they are unread. Only if they have messages that are unread, they should receive one notification.
Unread.
If they have the red dot in the app, they should get the email too. But if they don't have the red dot, like every
We should talk about this after. I think that's a really. I think this is. We should figure out what's possible now in terms of timing, so that people have a good, calm, strong experience. Because I think that there's if we can use some sort of triggering mechanism to send the email that's a little bit more dynamic than what we currently have, I think that's really the route to go.
Okay, so let's test challenge completion flow, and while we are there, see how the spinner appears on the button.
Oh, the loading spinner. The like thinking. Yep. Got it. Cool.
See how it looks and how it feels. Especially
good. It's nice to let you like, hey, it's thinking at the moment, especially like on the button. I just did a development mission. I'm gonna go into training.
Challenge. It's important to it's a development challenge. I'm just correcting.
Yes, sorry.
Development
challenge. Now I'm on to a training challenge. Let's see. Exit the scene.
Sensei Klaus, how is it going for you? Were you able to see the progress spinner on the complete button on the challenge flow?
Yeah.
So I'm in the, well, actually it's just like it's frozen on me, but yeah, seems about the usual.
Okay. And how about the DM? The DM notification. The DM email notification will arrive if you use a valid email when you registered your account.
Yeah,
So
let me see when I first started getting those, because that's, I'm pretty sure, a new thing.
it is, indeed.
Yeah, I have only been getting these since today, it looks like.
Yes.
All right, so that checks out then.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go also on the mission flow, because the mission flow is what's live now, and see how the spinner behaves, the progress spinner behaves on the mission completion flow.
Progress spinner on mission completion.
Yeah. Because that means that when I deploy the chat, I can deploy the spinner for the mission as well. And there's also, okay, let's take it one by one. I'm getting. Parts about it.
Oh, forget about it. It's a Brooklyn accent
Okay.
reference. Forget about it.
Ah,
Hey, forget about it. And I do it way better when I'm
when you're
not
in
trying.
Brooklyn. When you're in Brooklyn. Oh my God.
What? It's great. Thanks, great.
I look like.
Focus. Focus on the woman.
Okay, so any feedback? How does it look? Mission completion flow spinner. And then we're gonna go to check. There was a double section. A section was doubled on the view profile when you went to see someone's profile. So for example, go and check any profile now and see if the section with the name is doubled or not.
Oh.
So the speed of loading is great. It redirected for everything I posted. I posted a slew of challenges. So I did superhero pose, hero voice, and exiting the scene. I also did a test mission for the test account. Daddy Pool's kids are missing. I did that one, and like everything all across the board, everything was smooth. The spinner worked nicely. The random order of checkboxes was perfect. It worked just fine. Yeah, everything looks good.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
You can't see it.
That's great. Yeah, this is the main goal of these sessions, to catch things and then I fix them. And then you test again, or we test again together. So thank you. Okay. Then the next task is view. So for example, go to view the new profile that Jen created. What was the character name?
Oh, you mean Monologue Man?
Monologue Man.
You're welcome.
Go and press on his profile and see if there is a section, the section with the name and the number is being doubled or not. And
Nope,
Jen,
looks good.
and Jen will go on. What was the new character that you created?
Clasp, I got it right here.
Okay.
Looks good on my end.
Clasp looks great. Oh, he's got it's an arm wrestling thumb.
Okay, Sensei, how does it look for you if you do the same tasks? I'll take that as a yes, everything works. Okay, what else? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important new functionality, and I will let Jen introduce it, and then from a conceptual standpoint, and then I will give you the specific instructions on how to test it. So Jen.
So I almost feel like going live, but it's too early. So this is the handshake function for when you rival somebody. Because of course allying is like, hey, we're friends, this is great. When you rival, especially since the concept of the community being the cinematic universe is so new, but the world is ready for it, we have to really put in place the consent to both having characters that rival each other and making sure that doesn't bleed into the personal out of character interaction, which should be always positive, healthy, happy, and yeah, we're building story together, and this is awesome. So our reasoning behind the handshake, and this is very much catalyzed by several conversations, including something that Sensei Klaus brought up, is just having some form of checkbox. Of course, we can be rivals. This will be great. So that's what the rival button handshake is for, and Andra has implemented it, and it's I'm super excited. So that's my intro. I'm muting it now.
So we call it handshake from a conceptual standpoint. How it is actually implemented, it means that when you go on someone's profile, you can ally them directly, but when you rival them, when you choose to rival them, there's going to be a pending approval or rejection. Once the person that you want to rival approves, it will be shown on the list of rivals. If not, it will be rejected. So just I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to go through this, and then just these accounts like Clasp and Monologue Man and Sensei Klaus, check the rival functionality. And this is the first test that we're doing for this, so I appreciate your input, and also be aware that it's the first implementation. So let's make this functionality give it a shape and form together if needed be, or if it already has one, let's agree that it has.
All right, Monologue Man, I've created my rival.
So this is super interesting. Well, the first thing I notice is that when I press rival and it asks me, do I want a rival Clasp? And I say yes, Clasp's rival count goes up by 1 without him actually agreeing to it. And I think that's really interesting. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing
No.
at all. I think that's actually really interesting because it's like, hey, all these people want to fight you, you know, whether or not you've agreed to it. And I think that's really like an interesting, I think that's just interesting from a story standpoint. So I'm interested in both, you know, once you guys tested Sensei, I'm about to rival you, but I'm interested in, actually Sensei, if you could rival me, Monologue Man, that'd be great. But I'm interested in both your thoughts on on the optics of that. Like, would you rather not have a rival until you've agreed to having a rival in terms of the rival count, which is probably the right thing to do?
Well, I mean, it depends too, because like if you take it from the standpoint of like, you know, heroes and stuff, I don't know if you've seen Jupiter's Legacy or anything like that, like or even Invincible.
I
Like,
have. You know, they keep on giving me issue number 1 of that comic for the last several years. Here's the free issue number 1. I'm like, I have not read it yet, and it's literally on my.
Well, like that trope, or even in Young Justice, we'll even go like that. You know,
Okay,
Aqualad and Kid Flash. They. I mean, I could be getting this wrong on the secondary character, but I know definitely Aqualad. They have a rivalry. Even though they're on the same team, they could still be rivals. So, I mean, you don't really get to choose sometimes who your rival is unless like guys, you kind of are like, I have an issue with you, and you can have one hero just be like, why do you have an issue with me? I'm just being the best kind of hero that I can be. But it's just kind of like sometimes those unspoken, like, I mean, maybe, you know, they want to be the number 1 hero, and you're just kind of like standing in that spotlight, and they're like, you're my rival now because I want to not only do I want to be the best, but I want to beat you at being the best.
So that's amazing. Thank you for saying that. That's an amazing perspective and recalibration on what ally and rival means, because ally does not necessarily mean that we're friends, and rival does not necessarily mean that we're enemies. So I think that's a really interesting clarification of like the relationships are like.
Which means that they don't exclude each other.
Yeah, they don't exclude each other.
Ally and rival at the same time.
Well, I mean, we shouldn't allow,
I'm just
like,
asking
you shouldn't be able to ally and rival somebody the same.
From what Guru
like,
said, it was.
I agree. I agree, and I think now we need to draw a line just for the sense of story and for Andra's sake in terms of information hierarchy and organization. So I think that you should either rival or ally somebody. But I think you just bring up a really important perspective, because like the rivalries are essentially are essential to progress. Like to see someone else and be like, hey, like I respect you, but there's also like you catalyze something in me that makes me have to do better. Like that to me is a healthy rivalry. I have, you know, like the 16-time world champion in Tai Chi push hands is a dear buddy, but he's also a rival for myself and my coach. You know, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had to push ourselves as hard as we can. So I deeply relate to that. Thank you for saying that. And so now I feel good about the idea of the rival count just stacking, even if you haven't allowed that. But I'm still interested in Sensei's perspective as well. Given your
the notion of acceptance.
Yeah.
So, as far as that, real quick, this is more a side note, but just one mention before I forget. When you rival somebody else, there's the approve or reject option, right? That makes perfect sense. What's confusing is, when someone else rivals you, approve and reject makes sense. You can approve or reject the request. What's confusing is once you've sent a rival request, it's the same thing, approve or reject. I think we better just make it something like cancel. Because once you sent it, you clearly approve of it, or you wouldn't have sent it. You know, it's just a messaging thing.
So you see, so I don't see an approve or reject. I sent one to, Oh, I see pending on Monologue Man,
On
which
the
is
view.
me. Okay, so I have to go and check mine, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I had also sent one to you, so I wonder if it just went up just by us mutually clicking it.
Yeah,
That would be a
if
good
you could send one to
design,
me, that'd be
actually.
great. Okay, Sensei did send one to me. Sensei, do you? Let's see. I have.
So that should say approve or reject. That makes sense. What I'm saying is funky is if you send to somebody else and it says approve or reject.
So I don't have that. You have that?
Yeah, I'll go through some things, see if it's consistent.
No, you send to someone, and you will see that also when you send to someone, it still appears approve and reject. It doesn't appear pending or withdraw.
I saw pending on mine.
On the view.
On the view of
Not
Guru
on-
Merkaba's
on
rivals.
someone-
So I
not
pressed
someone
rival.
else's,
Yeah, I pressed
but
rival,
not on yours.
and then his count went up, and then I said, "Oh, who's his rival?" And then it said me pending.
Yes, but the same should be on when you press on rivals for yours, not on his. 'Cause when-
Okay, yeah, I'm on rivals for mine. I only have Sensei clause. I don't have any other rivals. Guru, did you approve mine?
I just approved yours right now.
Okay, so I'm going to Sensei. I'm going to reject yours
Okay.
and see what happens. Well, actually, before I reject yours, I'm going to reload the page potentially. So I still have one rival. So I assume this is not Sensei. Oh,
So
hold on. So
if you can click on it,
Sensei
yeah.
disappeared.
You
I haven't-
rejected.
No, I didn't. I didn't touch it. I said I was going to, and then I said, hold on, let me go and check. So now Sensei's has disappeared and it's been replaced by Clasp. So, which is odd.
Okay, this is a very important edge case, so please let's pay attention because this is a very thin. This is the edge case. So what works is when you go and see someone else's rival. So you rival someone, you go to their profile, you see that your request is pending.
Yes.
But when you're still on your profile, what you're saying, Sensei, is that it appears approve or reject, even though you're the one who initiated the request. And that should appear as cancel, like withdraw, or pending. That's what you were saying.
Can you guys hear her? Because she's on mute, but she's speaking through mine.
Yeah.
So is that what you're saying? I'm just describing because I know I wrote the code, so I know the story of the code either, and I'm trying to figure out if this is what you reproduced.
Okay, so now Sensei popped back when I accidentally pressed AK Wonder, and now I have 3 approve or reject.
Okay.
Wait, 3 of me or just 3 in general? Because my account's weird like that.
I have 3. I have
What
no.
I'm saying is that if you rival them, it shouldn't appear as approve or reject. It should appear as pending and withdraw, because you're the one who initiated. It should appear as approve or reject on their profile.
Yes, it should be approve or reject on someone else's
So
profile, and
this
on yours
should
it should say
show
pending or withdraw.
withdraw.
Yes, absolutely.
And the way it looks, the way it appears when you go to their profile, that's the way it should be on yours.
I still don't know what you mean by that.
So now go on AK1.
So for
press rivals.
okay, I just rejected AK Wonder because I didn't
Okay,
want.
you rejected
Yeah.
to disappear. Go on Clasp's profile.
Okay.
Go on Clasp's profile. Press on rivals.
So it says that we're
Press
rivals.
on the number of rivals. And see, it appears approved, pending, pending.
Okay.
So it appears approved.
Okay.
But now it can be withdrawn, the action, because it's already approved. That means that
Correct. So if you're requesting someone to be your rival, if you look in your own, it should show up as what do you call that?
pending or withdraw.
Yeah, withdraw. Sorry, that was the word I was looking for.
Withdraw.
I see.
Correct.
And on their
Okay.
profile, it will look like approve or reject.
Yes, I see. Because right now I'm seeing approve and
Mhm.
reject
Yes,
for Clasp
yes.
when I'm the one who
Yes,
initiated
yes.
that. and and you just approved mine, right?
I did. I just approved it, and I also just clicked on rivaling AK Wonder.
Yeah,
and
for
on
some reason
mine,
I see that too.
yeah, on mine it says approve and reject, even though I was the one that requested it. So just kind of like reiterating what's been said.
So it shouldn't say pending or withdraw on. So if you receive it on your end, it should say approve or reject, and if you send it on your end,
It should just have a withdraw. It should just have a withdraw button.
I think the pending the pending, like pending should not be a button per se, but it could state that it's pending and then like have a withdraw option button, etc. But it should also disappear once it's actually complete. The process is complete.
Well, it should disappear and appear as rival
It should, he should. So it should actually appear
in your list of rivals.
List of rivals,
And then the option is to remove.
Yeah, it should say approved or remove as the buttons.
Okay, you can say it once again so we all agree and we have it recorded.
I'm just writing this note. I took a screenshot.
Anyway, so it seems like what I thought was a design feature was just it misbehaving, so we're good on that one. So if we want to get back to the original thing about the rival count, I personally have a view that's more meaningful if you have to accept it, because there's a fun trope in fiction called the unknown rival, which is a character who sees himself or herself as a rival to someone else, but has not been acknowledged. And it's usually a big moment when they're acknowledged as such. So I think that there's a bit more of a meaning to it if somebody has to accept the rival as a relationship. I think it would especially be something fun for, younger kids and such who rival more popular characters.
So Sensei, are you saying that you feel that the number should not go up, or without the approval, or it should go up?
I was saying should not, because the number is one thing, but
then how do you notify them? You put it in the other side as an upper script, like a notification?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was just realizing that the number your rival is going up to a certain extent is acting as a notification of you saying you have pending rivalries. But I think it's interesting though, if we're truly spiritually saying that we're empowering any creator, storyteller, actor, etc., to craft their narrative amongst other people crafting their narratives, part of the control of your narrative is to accept or deny the types of relationships your character has. And so from that standpoint, like seeing the rival number like pop up without my consent, to me is not being fully aligned with our intention to empower people to tell their own story.
So we need a design that shows, so maybe upper script, instead of going like we have it designed now, the upper script will practically mark how many requests you have, and the actual number to go up only when you approve it or reject it.
So when you say the upper script,
we need a different marker on the rival.
Could it be just a red dot next to the word rival, or
we already have a red dot that means something else? So we need to find. Well, I'm up for suggestions. Yeah. Anything can be implemented because that's why coding exists. But
I'm interested in either a number that's like a number next to.
In the other side, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like a little like marker number that's like small. Yeah, something like that. But I'm also, I mean, guys, so please weigh in here. Yeah, super interested in your thoughts here, because I think that the red dot being next to the cast chat when you have notifications, to me, is us establishing the language that a red dot means that there's something you need to do. So if I saw another red dot next to or on the corner of the button, let's say the bottom right-hand corner of the rival button or the rival number button, like that to me would let me know, like, huh, there's a little red dot over there. What is that?
Maybe
You
for
know?
the number.
So yeah, so like I'm. What do you guys think? Oh, and it's 2:00, so we spent a lot of meaningful conversation today. But what do you on this last thing? What do you guys think?
I would say as long as it's consistent, where if people can pick that up readily, I'd go with it, because even though it's good to have things be somewhat striated, red thankfully is kind of a universal color. People understand that it means this is important or this needs attention. And since we're a mobile first thing, you can only get so big a dot's functional in that sense. So I would, and this is a weasel answer, I would use it as long as it works. And we have a look at it and say, okay, this is consistent, this is readable.
Interesting. Okay, so you're saying that whether it's the dot or the numbers, as long as it makes sense, it's fine.
Yeah, for example, numbers, I actually prefer them, but since this is mobile first, numbers can be small and hard to read.
Yeah,
And
I'm concerned with the person with like thick glasses that maybe like, yeah.
well, it's the same with the dot. If you have eye problems, you would rather see something like you can put an exclamation mark instead of the dot. You can put an exclamation mark.
A little exclamation mark next to the number,
Yes.
like a little circle, kind of like our play button, except just like a blue exclamation point.
Yeah.
Actually might be, or maybe 2 blue exclamation points.
What's your input? Because you raised your hand.
So I was thinking about push notifications. I don't know how much they're a part of your future design, but I think integrating, because how you market it in the episodes and whatnot is, there'll be a notification that pops up on their phone saying this, that, and a third of like, oh, a client is hiring you or something. I think it could also benefit to have a push notification, even if you are in the app, just kind of something that drops down from the top saying, hey, you got a message from this hero. You click it to check it, or click it to approve a rival, or what have you.
That solves only half of the problem. Because that means that, yes, it will appear, but those notifications stay on the screen like 5-10 seconds. We decide how much they stay.
Right.
But then when you actually go on the screen, where would the functionality be? Because you would still get into the same situation. You go on profile.
I think I'm a little lost on what we're talking about.
That the same way as you get a notification when you have a new message, to get the notification that you get a new request
for rivalry. I see what you're saying.
It solves only half of the problem, because you still have to go to a screen. So do you go straight to, you accept it from there, you have okay, accept or deny from that notification, or you're expecting to go to the list to see all of them, because maybe 5 of them come at once.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I think this is an important complementary conversation. And Guru, I really like that idea, because I do think it makes sense that for a notification to pop down, and like when someone rivals you and you press it. And of course, at some point we should probably have some controls of who gets notified of what when, so you don't have to like get bombarded with. Yeah. I've turned off notifications from chats.
We have this in the roadmap. Now we're just like the most simple, the MVP.
Yeah, I think that if I were to press a notification that came down from the top of my screen for a rival, first thing I'm expecting is to be on the page on this page.
Yes.
On this page of like, okay, they're all my rivals.
Yeah.
Let me look.
On the profile.
Yeah, I have like tons of friend requests on Facebook that I just never say yes to because I'm like, who are you? And no, I don't want to see your information. You know.
Well, if we're talking more specifically about like the person's ability to get their eye get captured by like, oh, I might have a notification, like you're saying the red dot or the numbers or something. I again, this might be a bit of an advanced feature, but like maybe if the specific button was glowing, or if your chat icon was glowing and kind of flashing at you a little bit, just to kind of like, I know in certain websites or certain things like that, if you get a notification, they'll have like a little animation that is constantly playing until you check your messages. They had like one person had a bird holding an envelope and he was flapping his wings. Obviously, it's a lot of extra stuff, but like something as simple as just kind of slightly glowing right there. And you're like, oh, I have a notification of a message that needs to be read, or if you're on your own screen, your own profile, and you're like, oh, why is the rivals button glowing? And you'll click it and it pops open and it's like, hey, prove, reject, remove.
Yes, what you said solves the problem when you on your profile. So we will need to have both. When you're not on your profile so let's say someone rivals you, but you're not on your profile, so you won't see the exclamation mark.
So your profile icon would then have to glow. So anything that's notification icon profile at the bottom of the bar would have to then glow to bring you to something that tracks the user's eye, that brings them towards that thing to press it and be like, what's that do? And then it puts them in the profile and they're like, oh, I have a bunch of things I need to take care of.
Yeah. So the same, what you're saying is the same way as we have the red dot for chat, you would have the red dot for the profile.
Something like that, yeah.
An exclamation mark on the profile in the footer.
Yes.
We're still talking specifically about rivals, right?
The notification implementation.
Yeah, I was just rejecting both of your guys' rival requests, and they have not disappeared yet. So I'm trying to figure out.
Refresh the page. I was finding that was an issue too. So go out of the page and then go back in. I did that because I rejected AK Wonders, and then it wasn't going away, and I went back in, and then it went away.
Yeah, they both went away, and the rivals went back down to 0. So yeah, we should definitely. I think it's super simple. I think we throw a red dot on the upper corner of the button of your button. Or
if you're on the profile.
If you're on your profile.
You're not on the profile when this happens.
We could talk about that. I think that the highest priority is like your interaction on your profile, and I think that the secondary nice thing to have is a notification that someone's doing that, rivaling you. But yeah, just a red dot somewhere on here to me is the simplest explanation of saying, hey, check this out. So yeah, I think this is good though. This is a really great session, guys. Thank you so much for these deep thoughts, because this is a massive help in the refinement process. So we're so grateful to you, as usual, as per usual.
Hey, one last thing.
Sure.
So I'm gonna be writing this down, but I've noticed that some comments on the world page have duplicated. Like if you look at the Wash the Hate mission, one of Jan's comments is there like 3 times, and I've seen other comments do that too.
I think that's from the test data. Is this reproducing?
Oh yeah, I see Sensei Clause test. Interesting, it's all in the same time. And I've seen this for a while. Oh, I see my entire copy paste. Yeah, so that is not a test. That's an odd. That's
just
that looks like a glitch of some sort. That
Okay, cool. Good catch.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, if you took notes, please send us after the meeting, and let's sync tomorrow. But Guru, because you're in the content team as well, now you can complete challenges. So that was fixed.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna kick off. There'll be a lot more focus on the content team and like us actually making stuff together in the coming weeks. We're still in the process of taking what we're doing with our real world. Like we need a catalyzing piece of content for real world to launch our equity crowdfunding campaign. That's just taken some significant time to put together and then to recut and refine. So that process is still happening this week. And hopefully within the coming days that there'll be much more of a laser focus on the content team, and then of course building out the message of what we're doing in a more tangible way. So
well, if anybody can do it, it's this team. So great job, y'all.
Thank you guys so much.
You. I'll see you next week.
One team, one goal, one vision.
Bye.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.